Hello dear students, in this video we are going to learn figures of speech. You have already learnt figures of speech before. This video is prepared and presented by myself, Professor Dinkar Teknar. Now look at this picture of a beautiful woman. Beautiful woman looks beautiful. Look at this picture of the same woman. Do you notice the difference between these two pictures? Yes. In this picture, the woman looks beautiful though she has less jewelries, less ornaments. But in the second picture, she looks more beautiful because she has put on more jewelries. When any woman wears ornaments, she looks more beauty. This means ornaments are used to enhance the beauty of woman. Ornaments increase or add to the beauty of all women. Look at the ornaments here. Beautiful ornaments are given. When women put on these jewelries, use all these ornaments, their beauty becomes more attractive. In the same way, any language is beautiful. When we add some ornaments to the language, it looks more beautiful. Just like women wear ornaments and increase their beauty, in the same way, if we add some ornaments to the languages look more beautiful. Look at the following sentence. She is beautiful. Nothing special in this sentence because woman is beautiful. If we add an ornament to this sentence, it will become the paradise has appeared on the earth. Same sentence, she is beautiful. When we add ornaments to this sentence, the sentence becomes the paradise has appeared on the earth. This is a figure of speech. This sentence looks more attractive, looks more beautiful. The ornaments that increase the beauty of language are called figures of speech. Figures of speech to be studied at 11th and 12th. Look at the following example. Its arms in a fresh fierce lust. Look at the words fresh and fierce. These two words begin with consonantal sound. So when a consonantal sound is repeated pleasingly, the figure of speech is called alliteration. Here f sound is repeated pleasingly, and that's why the figure of speech is called alliteration. Next, came back thinner, rather poor, but richer by cherry tree at my door. In this line, the word poor and richer are opposite to each other. When opposite ideas are placed side by side, the figure of speech is called antithesis. Writer says, came back thinner, rather poor, but richer by cherry tree at my door. poor and richer, they are suggesting opposite ideas. Look at this example, the smile that wins. How the smile wins or loses? No, smile is not a human being. It is not living thing. When non-human objects and ideas are given human qualities, the figure of speech is called personification. Here smile, this is an abstract idea, but it is a given quality that wins. Winning or losing is a quality of human being. But here non-human object smile is given human quality, and that's why the figure of speech is personification. Next, pink, fragile, quick to fall. Here the words or ideas are arranged in ascending order, and the figure of speech is called climax. Look at this line again, pink, fragile, quick to fall. So order of this line, order of these words is increasing, and that's why the figure of speech is called climax. Look at this example. In its unfading flower. Flower is very natural. It goes fading. It fades after some time. But here unfading flower. When a statement is made emphatic by overstatement, the figure of speech is called hyperbole. Overstatement is given. Flower that never fades, unfading. This is Atishayokti in Marathi, hyperbole. Look at this example. Then failed I like a child that holds. What is special here? When the correct prose order of a line is changed to make it more effective, the figure of speech is called inversion. Then felt I like a child that holds. This sentence should have been, then I felt like a child that holds. But the writer has changed the order of the subject and verb and made it more effective, and that's why the figure of speech used in this sentence is inversion. Look at this example. Weavers weaving at a break of day. Weavers weaving at a break of day. Here break of day is compared to birth or beginning of life. When two objects are indirectly compared, the figure of speech is called metaphor. Here break of day means beginning of day, means birth or morning. Weavers are weaving the cloth in the morning or at the time of a birth of a child. So break of day is indirectly compared to birth or beginning of life, and therefore the figure of speech is called metaphor. Now next, blue as the wing of a halcyon wild. Look at this comparison. Blue as the wing of a halcyon wild. Here new garment is directly compared to wing. When two objects are directly compared by words like, as or so as, the figure of speech is called simile. Here the wing of that halcyon bird is compared to new garment, means new garment and wing of that halcyon bird they are directly compared, and the word as is used to make the comparison clear. So the figure of speech is simile. Look at this example. Still here I carry my old delicious burdens. Burdens are there, but they are delicious. How can the burdens be delicious? किसी को बर्डन नहीं चाहिए, बोझा नहीं चाहिए, इधर डिलीशियस कैसा है, टेस्टी कैसा है. फिर भी इधर कंपैरिजन आया है. डिलीशियस एंड बर्डन्स आर कॉन्ट्रास्टिंग वर्ड्स. When the contrary statement is made, the figure of speech is called paradox. Burden delicious है, paradox. So history is a new again. Again see, history is a new. History is always old. History तो past में रहता है, वो new कैसा होता है? When two contradictory qualities are predicted at once, the figure of speech is called oxymoron. Here the history is new again, oxymoron. Contradictory ideas are predicted at once. History that is old, that is past, and here new, present, contradictory idea. Henceforth I whimper no more, postpone no more. Look at the repetition. No more, no more. When words or phrases are repeated to make the line more effective, the figure of speech is called repetition. Here no more, no more. The term or the phrase is repeated to make the line more effective. Why do you view a garment so gay? This is a question. Though this is a question, but this question doesn't expect any answer. Why do you view a garment so gay? The writer asks to the viewers. When the question doesn't expect answer, this figure of speech is called interrogation or rhetorical question. I hear the bright bee hum. I hear the bright bee hum. Look at the word hum. This word hum indicates the sound of honeybee. Means when sound indicating words are used, such figures of speech are always called onomatopoeia. When sound indicating words are used, the figure of speech is called onomatopoeia, that is the humming sound of honeybee. So it indicates sound or reflects sound. The figure of speech is onomatopoeia. Look at this example. Prithi, my brother, into my garden come. The writer is directly addressing her brother who is absent there. When non-human objects, ideas, absent or dead people are directly addressed, the figure of speech is called apostrophe. Here writer's brother Prithi is not there. She is addressing him directly, and that's why the figure of speech is called apostrophe. Look at this example. He is no more. Actually, the writer wants to say that he is dead, but dead is a harsh reality. If we use the word वो मर गया, हम बोलेंगे वो खुदा के पास चले गए. तो क्या होता है इधर? No more means dead, but when harsh reality is conveyed through soft words, the figure of speech is called euphemism. जब हार्श रियलिटी, कटु सत्य, कड़वा सत्य हम डायरेक्ट नहीं बता सकते, उसके लिए हम क्या यूज़ करते हैं? सॉफ्ट वर्ड इस्तेमाल करते हैं. उसको बोलते हैं euphemism. He is no more. डॉक्टर जो बाहर आते हैं ऑपरेशन थिएटर से बाहर आता है, पेशेंट के रिलेटिव बोलता है सॉरी ही इज़ नो मोर, मतलब ही इज़ डेड. बिकॉज ही इज़ नो मोर इज अ सॉफ्ट वर्ड instead of using he is dead. This figure of speech is called euphemism. I am proud of your dishonesty. How can any person be proud of dishonesty? Here proud of, the person means to say he is ashamed of, when the real meaning is exactly the opposite of what is conveyed. The figure of speech is called irony. उपहास, उपरोध. इधर बोलने में मुझे बहुत गुस्सा आता है, मुझे बहुत शर्म आती है, तो इतना अप्रामाणिक कैसा है, डिसऑनेस्ट कैसा है. लेकिन वर्ड क्या यूज किया? आई एम प्राउड ऑफ योर डिसऑनेस्टी. एक्चुअली द रियल मीनिंग इज आई एम अशेम्ड ऑफ योर डिसऑनेस्टी. सो व्हेन द रियल मीनिंग इज एग्जैक्टली द अपोजिट ऑफ व्हाट इज कन्वेड, दिस इज कॉल्ड irony. Is life worth living? It depends on the lever. इस सेंटेंस में देखो क्या है? Is life worth living? It depends on the lever. Here the word lever has a double meaning. Is life depends on lever? जिंदगी जीना अच्छा है क्या? It depends on lever. So the word lever has two meanings. फर्स्ट मीनिंग इज लीवर इज अ पार्ट ऑफ बॉडी. जिसका लीवर अच्छा है उसकी जिंदगी अच्छी है. सेकंड मीनिंग, द पर्सन हु लिव्स. जिंदगी जीना अच्छा क्यों है, कब है, ये जीने वाले को पर निर्धारित है, जीने वाले पर डिपेंड है. द पर्सन हु लिव्स. इज लाइफ वर्थ लिविंग? इट डिपेंड्स ऑन द लीवर, मीन्स पार्ट ऑफ द बॉडी. जिसका लीवर अच्छा है उसकी जिंदगी अच्छी है, और जीने वाला जो अच्छा है उसकी ज़िंदगी, उसका लीवर अच्छा है तो जीने वाला अच्छा है, जीने वाला अच्छा मतलब लीवर अच्छा है. सो व्हेन डबल मीनिंग वर्ड्स और when the word used in line conveys two or more meanings, the figure of speech is called pun. Look at this example. My heart was tired. Heart is a part of a body. How can heart be tired or fresh? Heart, part of the whole body. Look at another example. India won the match. India, how can means all Indians were playing on the ground and they won the match? No, India whole for the part of 11 players. Actually 11 players were playing the match and they won the match. Here in the first example, part of the body, part is used to show the whole, and here whole is used to show the part. एक बात समझ में, फिर समझो. हार्ट ए बॉडी का पार्ट है. माई हार्ट वॉज टायर्ड. एक्चुअली राइटर वॉज टायर्ड, आई वॉज टायर्ड, ये ऐसा बोलना था, लेकिन हार्ट का इस्तेमाल किया, मतलब पार्ट का यूज़ किया होल बॉडी के लिए. इधर होल का यूज़ किया मतलब पूरा इंडिया का यूज़ किया. पार्ट, 11 प्लेयर्स आर द पार्ट ऑफ इंडिया. सो व्हेन पार्ट इज यूज्ड टू शो द होल and whole is used to show the part, the figure of speech is called synecdoche or synecdoche. Thanks for watching. Watch this video again and again. You will understand all the figures of speech. Write down all figures of speech, their definitions and examples. Wait for the next video. Till then, bye bye.